Greetings, everyone. BJ Weiler here with you for another episode of Stronghold Kingdoms. Now, this and perhaps a few future ones of this series are going to be special, in that, by request by Grimshaw, one of our subscribers, wanted me to do a little bit of a tutorial or a tips and tricks type of thing. So I think that's what we're going to do here. A bit of tips and tricks on how to get started here in Stronghold Kingdom. So we are here, we're here on World 6, actually, so we can start fresh. Every world you start on, you start completely fresh. You can play as many worlds as you want, but none of what you do in one world matters in another world. So essentially you are starting a new game when you start a different world. Here, World 6 is in Age 5, which is the most recent new age implemented in the game. Now, of course, with 5 ages, each age brings a little bit different to the mechanics. It changes the mechanics around a bit. So that being said, what world you start on and what age you end up being is basically my personal preference. I prefer the first age because it's the one basically I've known all the time I've been playing Stronghold Kingdoms. As there when I was alpha testing the game many years ago, age 1 was basically what the alpha test was all about. Is the type of age all the mechanics were set to age 1 mechanics. So if you go to the help pages about, where is it, player guide, I think, where Stronghold Kingdoms help, here we go. When you do player guide too, that'll give you some good tips for getting started too. But Stronghold Kingdoms help will take you to the wiki, and you can navigate through the wiki to find out all the different things about the different ages, or at least the main core mechanical differences between the ages. But what we're going to do here is basically give you some basic tips and tricks for what you want to do as a brand new player starting this game, regardless of what the age is. So here we are in World 6. We've placed our village. I pretty much went middle of the map, so we are here in the Isle of Man, in the parish of Ramsey. So as you can see, this is day 1088 of the server, not the age. This is the entire time the server's been up, so over 1,000 days. House 17 here appears to be the dominant house here. So houses and factions are pretty much like your guilds in any other MMO RPG. The difference here with Stronghold Kingdoms from other MMOs is that this is a perpetual game. Now, if you go into pretty much any other MMO, you play and you log out, your character, whatever character you happen to be playing in that MMO, regardless of whether it's a shooter or whatever RPG, once you log out of that game, your character basically goes into stasis. It goes into limbo. Nothing happens to your character while you're logged out of the game. Stronghold Kingdoms, though, is a little different in that this game is always running like an MMO, but more than that is that your village, your castles do not go into stasis. It means even if you're not logged out into the game is still essentially acting like you are there playing. The core systems keep running. You can be attacked. Your villagers keep gathering resources and that type of thing. Depending, of course, whether you run a premium token or not, you can also have scouts and traders and your army go out and do attacks and that kind of stuff. What we're going to be doing here, though, we're not going to be using any cards or any premium tokens, but a note about that is that the card, you can purchase cards, you can purchase premium tokens. So let me see here, premium tokens. As you can see, I've got 2 premium tokens here. I think most of these were from quests. I have bought 30-day tokens before. But as you can see, brand new world, and I already have premium tokens. I already have a bunch of cards. So anything that you get in the game, such as this here, your free cards that you get by doing certain things. As you can see, I've already done all this stuff on USA 2. So I'm getting basically 2 free cards a day, which is sort of misleading because this timer here counts down your next free card. The timer doesn't start until you claim a card. So so I'm getting 14 cards a week. That's basically 2 cards a day. But if I don't log into the game for 3 days, doesn't mean I get 6 cards when I do log in and claim them. I only get 1 card at the end of each timer, and then the timer, once I claim that card, the timer will start again. So essentially, in order to get 2 free cards a day, I have to log in twice a day and claim each of those cards each time. So basically, if you depending on how much you play, you're essentially going to end up with maybe 1 card a day. So once you get to this level here, where you can get to the rank of yeoman, anything more than that, usually it just depends on what time you can log in and that kind of stuff per day. But that being said, nothing you play although the cards that you have unplayed, the premium tokens you have unplayed sort of in storage, you can use in any world you are on. The benefits you get from playing those cards or playing them premium tokens do not carry over. Once, let's say I play this card, Advanced Bar Keeping, right here in World 6. It does not affect any other worlds that I am playing. So once I play that card, it only affects my villages here in World 6. Same thing with a premium token. If I were to play this 2-day premium token, it only goes into effect on this world. It does not affect my other 2 main worlds that I am playing on. I would have to play a separate premium token on each world. So that's important to remember, that whenever you play a card, whenever you play a premium token, it only affects that world that you are currently logged into when you play that card or token. Another thing to note, like I said, this is a perpetual game, so even when you are logged out, you can be attacked, either by the AI or another player. Your village still keeps gathering resources, gathers gold, gathers faith points if you are at that point in the game, gathers honor, even while you're logged off. However, there is something called a vacation mode, which can only be used when you have a premium token in play. Vacation mode you can use twice a year, only twice a year. That's important to remember, that you can only implement vacation mode 2 times a year. You need to have a premium token, and the length of the premium token dictates how long your vacation mode can last at a maximum. By default, vacation mode at the most is 14 days, I believe. So even if you have a 30-day token, you can't have vacation mode last more than 14 days. But if you have 2 7-day tokens in play, you can use up all 14 of those days. Essentially, what vacation mode does is prevents your village from being attacked, either by the AI or another player. You cannot be attacked. Your village still gathers resources. I believe it still gathers gold, faith points, and honor, but it simply prevents you from being attacked. As a consequence, though, with vacation mode on, you cannot log into your account. If you log into your account, you end vacation mode at that point. So just some little beginner tips there about some of the certain systems that are going on here. But the most important thing here is, okay, we've sited our village. What do we do now? I would suggest playing through the tutorial. Now, I had gone in here and abandoned the village and come back. So as a consequence, I can no longer play through the tutorial, but there are things here that I can do. Expanding knowledge, research, dairy farming. So honor is basically your experience points in your RPG. You gain honor. By gaining honor, you gain in ranks. These are all the ranks. So each rank here requires a certain amount of honor. So the first few ranks here only have 1 sub-rank, sub-level to them. As you get higher and higher, you will notice Sir Villain, I forget which one exactly it starts in, there become 2 sub-levels. So you then become, say, Villain class, 2nd class. Then you rank up to Villain 1st class. So you have to go through both classes, both sub-levels, before you can then become a bondsman, which has its own sub-ranks. And the higher you go, the more sub-ranks there are. As you may have noticed, if you watch my videos on USA 2 and USA 3, when I go into the screen, you will see that this bar here is broken down to many subsections. Those are the sub-levels. And then you'll see, what class of what subclass, which is your first class, second class, third class, that type of thing, you are of each of the main ranks, what they call ranks in the game. Here are your achievements. You can gain honor through completing achievements. You can gain honor through popularity. So here is your overall popularity. So we get some beginner help. We get some welcome bonuses. We get a new player bonus to help you start out for the first day or two. Now here, if you've played the original Strongholds, again, same basic concepts here. You raise your popularity by increasing rations, decreasing rations, increasing tax, decreasing tax, increasing ale rations, how much free housing you have, and then of course these are basically the random events here, primarily weather and AI. So as you can see here, with the new player help, the current negative popularity AI, such as these wolf lairs, do not count. Once those new player bonuses wear off, then I will begin to get negative popularity, and the weather will then kick in. So here's how much honor I am gaining. This is per day. And these are the modifiers. So to gain honor, again, gaining honor helps you gain the ranks. So certain churches will also have honor bonuses to them, as well as providing faith points. Decorative, basically sort of, if you play the old game, popularity bonuses like the dancing bear, the gardens, that type of stuff. Justice, again, if you've played the old Stronghold Kingdoms, they're sort of, the stocks, the punishment things, which give you a negative boost to popularity, but give you some honor. Arts research is part of the research tree. That gives you an honor boost, so we are getting a bonus of 10 honor there. Parish bonus, that comes from your actual parish capital. So we're getting a big honor boost here in the parish capital. Then again, and if you play any cards, there are certain cards that give you honor bonuses as well. The multiplier, that's based on your popularity right here. So we've got 44 popularity. So all this stuff adds up here. So how the game essentially works is that you've got all your honor gathering here. What I call your passive honor gathering, in that once this stuff becomes active, whether you do some arts research, whether you play a card, what your steward has built in the parish, and the buildings that you place here in your village, these are all passive. They passively, you don't have to do anything other than build them or research them, or just play the cards, or have your steward, or if you are steward, build those things in the parish capital. So these are all the passive ways to gain honor. That totals multiplied by your current popularity, and that nets you your total amount of honor per day. So in a 24-hour span, I'll be gaining 2,500 honor per day. Now there are active ways to gain honor. One is by building an army and attacking the AI. And so attacking the AI will give you a random amount of honor based on the strength of that AI. The stronger the AI, the more honor you get. You can also get honor by scouting stashes. Now you only get honor through attacking and scouting within this colored area here called the honor circle. So if I were to attack any AI or scout any unidentified stash, which is a little bag with a question mark on it, if I scout these, I do not get honor. You only get honor by scouting unidentified stashes. Again, the little bag with the question mark on it. And I will only gain that honor if those items are located within this honor circle. Again, there are cards you can play that actually make that circle wider. So those are two active ways to gain honor. You can also gain honor by researching theology, which gives you access to monks, and you can heal parishes by curing disease. So if a parish has disease, let's see if we can find one. In fact, here we are here. This parish has disease. If you click on it, it'll tell you how many points of disease it has. 10 is the base level of disease. So if I were to have monks, and not if I were to have, what one is it here? Education. We'll go into the tree here. We'll go on down to, so you have to go through arts before you can unlock theology, which starts giving you access to monks. So you have to do, each one of these circles is a point of research. I have currently 8 research points, so I have to research theology 5 times before I can actually access the ability to recruit monks, make them go faster, and then get into the mechanics, the different mechanics that I can use my monks for. So baptism is the first one here. And this gives you a restoration, which gives you healing. And of course, this tells you restoration amount, how many points each monk I send out can cure. So at the base level, 1 monk can cure 3 points of disease. So, and each point of disease you cure is worth a certain amount of honor. Let's see, generally when I cure 10 points of disease, I get 600 honor, so divide by 10, that's 60. Basically, you get 60 honor. Default, that's base level, you can't change that. 60 honor per point of disease that you cure. So that is the active way to gain honor. Now, if you attack another player, you actually lose honor. Attacking players causes you to lose honor. The amount of honor you lose depends on your level and the level of the player you attack. So the bigger the difference between your level and the level of the player you attack, if you are higher than that player, the bigger your honor loss will be. If it's the opposite way, if you are very low level, they are very high level, you still lose honor, but it's a very, very small amount of honor that you lose. So that's basically your ways to gain honor. Of course, again, there are cards that you can play that increase that, decrease that. There may also be some that actually give you a base amount of honor. Again, another, like I mentioned before, another active way is to complete the achievements. After a certain level, you will get honor per level of achievement, and the amount of honor you get per achievements is based on your rank. The higher your rank, the more honor you will get for completing certain achievement. You can also gain honor from certain quests here. So each quest offers different rewards. This one offers resources, some offer honor, some offer faith points. So you always want to make sure you're keeping an eye on your quests while you're playing the game, because you can actually complete some quests just by nature of completing the game, such as this here, where I can just simply research dairy farming, which I need to do to feed my people. As you can see, I am not feeding any people right now, so what I need to do is go in here, go into farming, and so I need to go back out here because I can't do it from there. So I have to research orchard management. You can see here, 30 seconds for my risk. Every bit of research you complete increases the amount of time for the next piece of research. So let me see here. Build a dairy farm, making contact. So I've got to do that. We'll do that shortly. Let's get back into here. So essentially, as you can see, there are very few things first starting out in the game that you can research. A lot of the stuff, as you saw here, are locked out due to your rank. You have to be a certain rank before you can research that. So the game somewhat helps you in the early going by limiting what you can research, so you don't necessarily research the wrong things. Dairy farming. So I have to be rank 2 before I can research dairy farming, actually. So I just actually wasted that point. So that's no biggie whatsoever. Can I rank up? No, I cannot rank up yet. So what we have to do is gain some honor here. The tutorial actually helps you gain honor and actually rank up. So it helps to do the tutorial as well. Research task complete. Good. Yes, I abandoned that village 7 days ago. We don't need to do that. So essentially, what we're going to have to do here now. Let's see. Let's take a look at the parish here. You click that to go to the parish. So this gives you the basic information. So we see somebody was healing disease here. We can see this parish is pretty well packed out, and statues are part of the honor bonus multiplier there. So this is a limited view of what you can see here, unless you're a steward. There's a lot more options you can use as steward. See, there's pretty much nothing else they can build here except for statues to fill up all the dead space. So this is a pretty established parish. Now, what you initially research here is going to be based on basically how you want to play the game. So basically, just like an RPG where you go in, when you go in, you want to base what class you choose, the kind of characters, the kind of skills you use based on your play style. So in RPG, are you going to be DPS? Are you going to be tank? Are you going to be a healer? Are you going to be a CC support person? That type of thing. So what you end up researching is going to be highly dependent. See if we can gain some honor here. Let's research arts. Thank you. Here we go. Decorations. So flower beds give us honor bonuses. So what you research essentially is going to be based on your play style, how you're going to play the game. Now, naturally, everybody's going to have a different opinion on what you should research. However, this being a perpetual RTS game and of course a PvP, it's essentially a war game, a PvP game. You are good, regardless of what you want to do in game, how you want to play the game. You are going to have to research military, because military gives you not only access to an army, but gives you access to your defenses, and defenses are very important in this game. Even if you end up joining a house or a faction that essentially is a neutral farming faction, if you just want to be a farmer and you join a neutral farming faction and don't go to war with anybody, you are still going to need to research your defenses in order to defend yourself against the AI. So here we have Fortification. Now Fortification actually gives you your castle structures. So it gives you the wood structures, and it gives you the stone structures. Of course, stone is stronger than wood. So as you can see, I have absolutely no defenses. Any AI and any player can come in here and walk into my keep and cause me to lose honor. That's another way you lose honor, is by being attacked and the enemy reaching your keep. Generally, if it's a player, you don't lose honor. If it's the AI, however, and they reach the keep, you lose honor. If it is a siege camp. Siege camps, which we actually do have here, are a special thing in that even though I am in peacetime, so peacetime prevents players from attacking me for that length of time, it also prevents the AI castles, if there is one showing anywhere here. Not on the Isle of Man, but if we go over here, I'm sure there's an AI castle floating around somewhere. There we go, the pig, the rat. It also prevents those castles from attacking you. However, siege camps are not prevented from attacking even if you are in peacetime. The only way to stop any AI from attacking you is by using Interdiction, which is a theology, arts theology function, and it is here in Eucharist, and you have to be rank 8, which is a freeman before you can even get to that point. Thank you. Research task complete. So I have gained 1 small point of honor. So I'm not going to be able to do much research yet in this tutorial. Shall I reach rank 2? Now here you can see you can buy points here. using gold. I would recommend strongly not buying any points, especially at the early going, because every time you buy a point, it increases the amount of gold required to buy the next point. As you can see, I've done 2 researches, and already my next research is a minute longer than the first one, a minute and a half. So, I would recommend never buying a point if you have to. If you feel like at some point in the game you need to buy points, I would strongly wait until you're a very high rank and requires lots of honor before you can rank up. Every time you rank up, you get 3 points of research. So once I get 1 more point of research, I'll actually be able to rank up here. And I will get 3 points of research. And that's for the sub-levels too. So every level and sub-level I rank up, you get 3 points of research. So as I was saying, you want to research military. Now, of course, again, if you play through the tutorial, it actually gives you some points to research. It gives you some things to research. Go ahead and follow those. Those are fine. Now, like I was saying, what you research is primarily going to be based on how you want to play the game. Are you going to be an active player or are you going to be a passive player? That's the first thing you want to decide. Active, I mean, are you going to be in the game? Are you going to be logging in and actually playing the game a lot? Or for a couple hours at one sitting? Or are you only going to log in, maybe an hour or 2 every couple of days? That's being passive. If you're logging in every day, playing, an hour or 2 or 3 or 4 hours every day, or doing the weekend warrior thing where you're playing hours upon hours every weekend, you're more active. You want to research things that will allow you to do something in game to gain honor, such as scouting. So if you're going to be an active player, the things you want to focus on, again, whether you are active or passive, you need to research military. You need to research fortification. So let me go in here. So you need to research military. You need to research castellation. That makes your castle stronger. So these, whether you are active or passive, as soon as you can, you always want to make sure you're throwing research points into castellation. You want to throw research points, as many as you can, as early as you can, into fortification, because this is going to be your first line of defense, are the structures here that you can build around your castle. So as a matter of fact, we are going to do that now. So we're going to start researching fortification that way. So research castellation, research fortification. And another, you want to research defenses, because because you will eventually want to put troops up to defend your castles, the keep, and your structures cannot do it itself. Now, if you have a liege lord, you can, liege lord, essentially, if a liege lord sends you troops to reinforce your castle, it will help you alleviate the need to research any army here right away. So command gives you access to the military. And as part of that, also industry. In order to recruit troops, you need supplies for those troops. So if you're going to be an active player who wants to wage war, you need to research weapon making, and you need to research command. Again, whether you are active or passive, whether you're going to be a monk or you're going to be a warrior, always research castellation, fortification, defenses, and one that is often overlooked here by people is diplomacy. Diplomacy, if you've watched my other main videos for USA 2 and USA 3, diplomacy is very, very helpful, especially once you get up into the higher rankings here. What diplomacy does is essentially stops AI attacks against your castle, or at least it essentially gives you a chance to stop those attacks. So each point, this gives me a 5%, 10%. So like I said, once you start reaching 25, 30, 35%, once you start reaching these areas here, it becomes more effective. So again, as often as you can, you want to start dropping a point or 2 in diplomacy, because what this does, it stops those AI attacks. But not only does it stop the AI attacks, you get the honor you would have gotten had the AI attacked you. So essentially what happens with diplomacy, when diplomacy stops an attack, you get honor, and you get the benefit of not having to do any repairs on your castle. So it's essentially a free and easy way of getting honor, especially at higher ranks here. To me, from my playtime over the last few months on USA 2, it seems to be very effective against the siege camps, which are always popping up. So I've already maxed it out on USA 2, and if a siege camp launches 7 attacks in the span of the time that the siege camp is active, diplomacy will stop that 2, 3, even 4 times. So I'm only getting attacked a couple of times from that and getting full honor for it. So the critical things, again: castellation, fortification, defenses. So you can, again, this gives you access to things like killing pits, boiling pots, which help you increase your defenses along with the structures. But again, it also gives you access to the barracks, which increase the number of troops you can place in the castle. By default, you can only place 20 troops in the castle. That's not going to be enough to stop stronger attacks or player attacks against you. So you will need to research defenses. So let me reiterate, because this is highly important. You need to make sure you have points in castellation, fortification, defenses, and diplomacy. To me, those are the 5 main things, regardless of how you want to play, that you need to research on a regular basis. Now, the rest of it, like I said, is based on whether you're going to be active, whether you're going to be passive. Monking and basically being a monk or being a warrior are more active. So you'll want to put points into command or theology. Now, if you're going to go monk, it's going to take a little bit longer for you to be more effective as a monk, just as you can see, just by the amount of research points you need before you can even get the theology, and the ranks you need to be before you can get into theology. As you can see, you need to be rank 8 before you can even start thinking about monking, whereas with military, basically you're military right off the bat. You can recruit peasants right off the bat and use them to attack weaker enemies, of course. So if you're going to be an active player, your next choice is going to be whether you're going to be more of the PvP and warrior type. Are you going to be a warrior? If you're going to be a warrior, you want to research your military. So you want to research, and if you're going to be an active player, you definitely want to research scouts as well, because again, you get honor from scouting resources, and scouting those resources will enable you to get make up for lack of deficiencies in researching some of the basic things here. Now, if you've noticed on USA 2 and USA 3, I have basic minimal points. In fact, I've done no research at all. Whatever research points have been done in, say, industry and farming have been done basically because they were default in the game. Now, of course, I've done a little bit more production in food. That way I can get more food production. But essentially, scouting makes up for any lack of deficiencies you have here. So if you're going to be an active player, you want to research scouts, because then you're in the game, you're playing, you're looking for stashes to research. You're actually doing something. So if you're going to be an active player, whether you're a warrior or a monk, again, if you're going to be active, this is sort of basic default you want to research as an active player. If you're going to be a passive player, you don't need scouts as much, because as a passive player, what you want to do is put your points into your farming and your industry, because then, again, like I said, being a perpetual game, even if you're offline, your peasants are still working, you're still gathering resources, you're still getting gold, and that type of thing. So if you're going to be a passive player, you're not going to be as active in the game. Your points want to go into farming. That way you can have increased productivity both in farming and increased productivity in your resources, which are your building materials, as a passive player. Now, banqueting is the third way to get honor. Again, this is one of those things that are sort of generic. It all depends on how you want to gain honor. If you're going to be more active, you're going to be gaining honor through either attacking the AI or scouting stashes, unidentified stashes, or by monking and healing parishes or blessing parishes. Now, let's get over here. So baptism, by healing, you get certain points for removing disease. Now, I think that's the only sort of active way to get honor using monks. The only other way to get honor is sort of in the passive mode, which is through blessings. And it's sort of, you get honor by blessing the parish and increasing the parish popularity. Again, any blessings would come under here, the random events. So you gain honor through blessings by increasing the parish popularity. When you increase the parish popularity, you increase your village's popularity. By increasing your village's popularity, you're increasing your multiplier of gaining honor. So those are the active ways to gain honor, to gain your experience, to rise through the ranks. So now that we can rank up here, so let's do that. Let's rank up the bumpkin. And as you can see now, this is how much experience I need. I need to reach 20 honor before I can rank up to yokel. But what I can do now is complete that quest. And I've got 3 research points. So in a couple of minutes here, I'll have dairy farming researched. And I will be able to place my dairy farm. I guess I should place my apple orchard, huh? As you can see here, as I've mentioned in my other videos, that number above the apple orchard is its production value. Now again, that production value is based off of any research you have, direct research that you've done in the particular tree that affects the item that you're placing. So in this case, I researched that apple. Let me just throw that down. The first bit of research I did was orchid management, which increases productivity. So that number there is based on the research I did, in addition to any parish guild bonuses here, which I don't see an apple orchid. So it could be that the apple orchid now in age 1. So let's just do this again. These are the certain ranks here. And this is basically like doing research without having to spend research points. You donate whatever supplies is required to that guild, and it increases the productivity of that particular research, in this case pikes. So right now, if I were to place a pole turner, I would already automatically out of the gate without any other research have 90% boost in production to that. So that's another easy way to gain production bonuses without actually having to spend a research point in doing it. The thing you have to be careful though, if you'll watch my USA 2 videos, which are now being titled The Second Age, I believe, you'll notice now that at the turn of every age, the parishes get wiped out. All those bonuses are gone. So you want to make sure that you are very careful with how much you actually build. If you don't build enough and you end up losing all that bonuses, you could end up with more of those resources consumed than you can actually make. So we've got that. Okay, that research is done now, so now I can plant my dairy farm. This should be complete. We will collect those rewards. We will do this so we can build our dairy farm. is that. And once that completes, we will have that. So, basically, again, the number above there will be affected, again, based on the bonuses you get to it. But again, as you can see, based on the proximity of, okay, I don't have a premium token, so I can't move this stuff around. Now, if I had a premium token, I can actually move these buildings around. So let me do this. So let's say I want to place another one. So as you can see, 1,704, that's how many per day this particular building will produce. Now, if I were to plant this, it would combine with the one that I just planted. So the further away I get, the less production. And again, even closer, there is an optimum point each of these buildings can go to maximize your production. So again, any of your food resources, how much it produces is based on proximity to the granary. Honor goods, which I don't have any of that research, but here are the honor buildings, which are, let's go into industry, let's go here, which of course are your honor producers, your hunting, your carpentry. So all this stuff is based on proximity to the keep. Now again, certain things like the hunter's outpost and your vineyards for producing wine can actually go right next to the keep. There is no limit on where you can actually place these things within your village. Other things, such as your furniture maker, your what is it? Industry, your metal bashing, your metalware producer. They actually require certain resources within the village. So your metal basher requires iron, so you actually have to place this near your iron ore deposits. So of course you have to place it there, and then you have to sort of line it up with the optimum point with to the keep. Again, your furniture has to be placed next to your forest, your trees. Just like here, your woodcutter needs to be placed, can't just place it anywhere, it has to be placed within a certain proximity of trees and a certain proximity of the stockpile to determine, it needs to be placed within trees in order to work. The proximity to the stockpile determines on how much it will produce. So as you can see, I am too far from the trees, I have to go here. The closer to the stockpile I get, the more it will produce. Again, affected by the amount of bonuses based on the research you put into it, if any, and the amount of research or in the amount of rank the particular related guild building has in the parish. Boom. Such is that. I got to play a premium token to build more than one. So that basically covers the basics more or less here. Okay, we've got that complete. Thank you. Collect. Gold toward. So I can actually raise gold if I had that. Spreading the word. I will do that. Making contact, etc., etc. So, again, let me reiterate the important things when you're first starting out that you want to research are castellation, fortification, defenses, and when you can, diplomacy. As an active player, you will also want to research scouting. That way you can send scouts out to gather resources and to get honor from unidentified stashes. By doing that, you can limit the amount of research you put into, as an active player, put into industry and farming, because your scouts can make up for lack of deficiencies in there. And if you have if you end up landing into a well-established parish, you can also save research points through the bonuses there. And you can, as always, build more. Build more, build more, build more. So, in order to increase apple productivity, I can just throw down another apple orchard instead of wasting a research point into there as an active player. I can just go in and build more. As a those are the main things for active player. Your military. Now, basically, again, your castle defenses and your scouting are the things you want to focus on as an active player. Now, as a warrior, as an active warrior player, you will want to research command, and you will want to research tools here, because you're going to need iron mining. You will also want to research weapon making and industry. That's going to be your primary thing as an active warrior, will be your weapon making. Again, iron mining will help you, but you can also scout stashes. Although iron stashes are a little bit less frequent than stone and wood. So as an active warrior, again, I would suggest researching into iron mining, and obviously you will need weapon making, and you will need command. Now, as an active warrior, I would put more points into fletching. Basically, archers are going to be the main bulk. You want archers as the main bulk of your army, both for defense and offense, because they're basically ranged. Basically, because they are ranged, they can defend themselves and stay out of harm's way, except, of course, from other archers. But they're effective against wolf flares. The next point you will want to do, basically pole turning. As a warrior, the bulk of your army should be archers, as I said, and pikemen. They're going to be your most effective attackers, and you will want to, like defenses, put points into ranking up basically their hit points. Here again, you put points into here. You want to at least put points in here so you can build the buildings. By default, the more weapon making you research increases the productivity of everything. So you'll eventually be increasing productivity through research at least 25%. Then again, any parish bonuses will be added to that productivity. So we went to our parish capital here, and we saw there was already 90% bonus to pole turning. So you don't necessarily need to do that much research into each individual one if you're in a well-established parish with these guilds placed and ranked up. What you do want to focus on as an active warrior player are these here. You want to rank up your hit points. So on USA 2, I've already maxed out hit points to my archers and to my pikemen. If you watch my USA 2 videos, they are the bulk of the armies that I send out on attacks. So you will always want to make sure they research up first. I am eventually, where are my conscription peasants? Here we go, my peasants. Peasants are good. They're weak. They're good just starting out against weaker AI, essentially wolf flares. You will be replacing them a lot. I wouldn't put too many points in the outset here. I would actually wait until what I'm doing now, wait until much higher ranks to do peasants, to where you'll be using peasants more in the terms of defense of your castle through the Tunnelers Guild. Again, if you go watch my USA 2 videos as I'm reviewing the reports of attacks on my castles or doing the building, you will see that I have tunnels placed in my castles as defense. The higher the rank, the hit points, the longer the peasants will last. So they will help a little bit for defense, but you really don't need to do that right away. Again, the most important research you can do are to your archers and to your pikemen. Again, later on, a little bit swordsmen and catapults. Swordsmen, good, they're average for attack, a little bit better for defense, I think, in my opinion. Of course, there's different opinions. I haven't really played with them that much, so I can't really say for sure what they're good for. But again, if you watch a lot of people play,
you watch, my videos. Very effective where I am at attacking and defending with just longbow and pikemen. Swordsman give you a little bit of a kick against walls and certain other things like that, but you can save some research points so much later. Catapults, of course, are necessary if you're attacking players or stronger AI. So, again, if you're going to be going after much stronger opponents, you will, when you reach that rank, also want to make sure you rank up your catapults, because the faster they fire, the more effective they will be. So that's essentially what you want to focus on in the early runnings here as an active warrior player. Your archers, your pikemen, of course, the necessary supply things for those. Now, if you're going to be an active monk, essentially what you're going to have to do, again, besides the basic things I've already said, you'll also want to do some scouting, but most of your points are going to have to go into education here. You are going to have to research a lot to get there. Again, you can't even start to there, so what you want to do is start arts early, get there, because you get your honor. That'll help you get honor, and essentially you're just going to have to save points until you get to that rank, and then you can start raking things up. But essentially, theology, it's more or less self-explaining. Once you get into theology, you're basically, that's where you're going. Monks are slow, so once you get to the point where you can hit rank 5 here of theology, you will naturally, of course, want to you have to do ordination in order to recruit monks, but pilgrimage is very important for, I would say, for every time you rank up, you want to throw at least 1 point into pilgrimage until you maxed out, because monks are very slow. You'll be more effective with faster monks. For baptism, of course, you got to rank up some more. At this point now, where I am researching theology, I'm up to 5. So if you're going to be a primary monk, you definitely want to rank up baptism, because not only does disease decrease parish popularity, but like I said, you get active honor points for healing disease. So you'll want to make sure you can heal the maximum amount of disease you can per monk, which saves you a whole bunch of gold. Because every time you use a monk, you have to re-recruit a monk, which costs you gold. So in the early goings of theology, you want to research baptism at least to level 5. That way, you can send out 2 monks to cure 10 points of disease. So what you want to do is research that to level 5. You want to at least get 2 monks, and you'll want to start throwing in here your travel speed. That way your monks can reach further and further out at a quicker pace. Then you'll also want to throw some points here into blessings. That way you can bless your own parish to increase the popularity and hence increase your honor multiplier. So in the early stages of being a monk, these here are your most important things to research. At least, I would say, like I said, at least to get 5 points here. You'll probably, like pilgrimage, want to keep adding to that a little bit more and more. These things here, the Inquisition, you don't really need. That's more of a player versus player type thing. Eucharist, you will definitely want to get to Eucharist and get to rank 1, because then you can self-interdict yourself regardless of what your level is. This interdicts targets rank level 8. That's for other players. You can interdict anyone level 8 or below. But regardless of your level, once you have this first research level of Eucharist research, you can interdict your own villages regardless of what your own rank is. That is very important, especially if you're going primarily as a monk player, because your military is going to be very weak. You're not going to have much of a military because all your points are going to be needed to become an effective monk. So, and that's also why diplomacy will be necessary, because if you interdict yourself, you get no honor for interdict stopping attacks. You won't even know interdict stopped an attack unless you see attacks going out to other villages. And you get no honor for interdicts stopping attacks. So that's why defenses, or that's why diplomacy is important, because you will still get that honor even if diplomacy stops the attack. Confession, again, is more or less player versus player. You don't have to worry about that at the outset. Again, excommunication is more or less a player versus player function. Don't really need to worry about that. So as a monk, again, you'll want to put a lot of your early points into these 4 here. And the more monks you recruit, the cheaper it will be. As you can, if you watch my USA 2 videos where I'm sending out monks, I think I have a max of 4 monks per village now. I'm usually only sending out 2 at a time because it saves me gold re-recruiting them. And if you, I don't know if I recorded any of it doing one of the quests where I heal a lot of disease. I was actually sending out 1 at a time. When one would hit, I re-recruit while the others were still out. Saves you gold that way. It's very good. You know, again, that's more of an active player type function. Now, if you're going to be a passive player, most of your points you're going to want are going to be into these things here. Because as a passive player, you will need to maintain high popularity. By maintain high popularity, you're going to have to increase rations for everything. So again, in order to increase rations, you want to make certain you have enough supplies to feed the peasants in your village. And by doing that, you get the parish bonuses, and you will get your research points. Oh, excuse me, is more of that. So your main focus as a passive player will want to be your industry. That way you can maintain good productivity. Your farming will be your primary function as a passive player, because you'll want to make sure you have enough production in order to rank up high to your popularity, in order to maximize your honor potential, because you're going to be doing less scouting, you're going to be doing less attacking. But again, even as a passive player, again, the important things are your defenses. You will still want to put points into defenses, and as a passive player, you will most definitely want to get a liege lord, because then that will prevent you from needing, and I should say a liege lord that will supply you with troops that you can use to defend your castles. That way that'll save you from having to put points in to build up your own army right away. You can focus most of your attention on the passive things here, such as increasing your production. And I think that pretty much covers everything for the moment. I think we will do one more tutorial video here on doing some tricks. One thing I do want to mention here in education, you do have mathematics. You don't necessarily need to research mathematics a lot. I did that on USTA 2 in early going. Probably a little bit of a waste to get up to. I think I'm up to rank 5. What you will want to do, but you don't need to do this at the outset, since the outset you've got low research times. But you will want to get into your merchants once you reach rank 5. So once you reach rank 5 is, here we go, serf. You'll want to start thinking, whether you're an active or a passive player. It's more active though, because you'll definitely want to think about getting some merchants here, and doing transportation once you reach rank 12. But you'll definitely want to start out with a couple merchants. You essentially only need, once you reach rank 5, you'll only need, so what you'll want to do, mathematics you can do right away to decrease research time, doesn't matter, but I would essentially wait until you rank up to serf the first time. then the first 3 points would be bing, bing, bing. That way you can plant your merchants and you'd be done. So once you reach rank 5, I would do this. Throw the first 3 points in the merchant guilds. The next rank, I would actually at this point start also increasing stock, your capacity space here. So by that point, at this point you've got low capacity. You're going to be needing more and more supplies to build within your castles. So once you hit surf, the first few points of research you'll want to focus on at that point will be going into merchants and your engineering. And then after the first couple of sub-levels there that you research, then go back to whatever your main focus is going to be, whether it's a warrior, monk, what have you. So we'll call this a tips and trick episode to give you some of the basics. I hope it was helpful enough. If not, let me know and we can go over more stuff in future videos. But in our next video, I think we'll do some tips and tricks, and we'll actually do that on one of my other, probably on USA 2 or something like that, since I'm already well established and some of the tips and tricks will be necessary for being well established. Sort of, semi well established. At least getting merchants and that type of stuff going. So we'll go over that stuff next video. It's PJ Wilder saying thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you in game.